A Utah Highway Patrol trooper is hit by an out-of-control truck while investigating crash, and it's all caught on dash cam.
Police need the public's help to catch an armed robbery suspect.
While it takes an entire village to raise a child, we believe it takes an entire community to save one.
Hundreds of people walk in hopes of preventing suicides in Utah. Welcome to Newsline. It's Monday, September 30th. I'm Savannah Hegerhorst.
And I'm Joseph Carson. A Utah Highway Patrol sergeant is hit by a car on I-15 while investigating an accident in Box Elder County, and the crash was recorded by his dashboard camera.
According to the Utah Highway Patrol, Sergeant Brian Nelson was inspecting a car crash and had his emergency lights on to give drivers an early warning about the accident. The driver of the pickup truck lost control and hit the passenger rear corner of Sergeant Nelson's patrol car. Sergeant Nelson was taken to Bear River Valley Hospital with minor injuries but was released the same day. Utah Highway Patrol reminds drivers to slow down and move over when they see flashing lights.
A Utah fire chief is killed in a head-on car crash on the notorious SR6 highway. Utah Highway Patrol says the Green River fire chief, Philip Engelman, crossed over the center line and hit two tractor trailers. The two truck drivers were not injured, but Chief Engelman died at the scene. Chief Engelman is survived by his wife and children.
St. George police are asking for the public's help to track down a suspect involved in an armed robbery. Take a look at these pictures. Police say the man entered a store posing as a law enforcement agent and threatened store employees with a handgun. The suspect is an African-American male wearing a fake beard. He also has a skin condition which causes his chin and lower face to be lighter in color. He was last seen in a gray passenger car.
The United States may be on the path to its third presidential impeachment. There's a tentative agreement for a whistleblower to testify before the House Intelligence Committee about President Trump's controversial call with the Ukrainian president. John Lawrence reports.
President Trump sounding off Sunday night, tweeting he wants to meet the whistleblower who represented a perfect conversation with a foreign leader in a totally inaccurate and fraudulent way.
What's going on now is the single greatest scam in the history of American politics.
Democrats disagree, saying the president took advantage of his power to solicit interference from Ukraine in the 2020 election.
This is serious evidence of wrongdoing. The president has betrayed his oath of office.
A rough transcript from the White House shows President Trump repeatedly urged Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to look into Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden and his son Hunter.
The president did nothing in this phone call that's impeachable.
Trump denies any wrongdoing, and critics of the coming impeachment inquiry say this is a bit like deja vu all over again following special counsel Robert Mueller's Russia investigation. Democrats leading the probe disagree.
After the last 2 years that we've been through, the president well understood that it was illegal to seek foreign assistance in a campaign. And immediately after Mueller testified, that is exactly what he was back at doing again.
And the White House will soon find out if that is impeachable conduct. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Schiff says his committee intends to subpoena documents from Rudy Giuliani, President Trump's personal lawyer. Giuliani has not said whether he will comply.
DoTERRA gives Utah Valley University its second largest donation in school history. DoTERRA, an essential oils company based in Pleasant Grove, gave the donation because of their support for the university's goals and the many students who work at DoTERRA. The university says the donation will help the school in many different areas. DoTERRA is helping Utah Valley University improve their campus experience. UVU Senior Director of Public Relations Scott Trotter says that they plan to bolster the athletic program. They also plan to use the donation not only for athletics, but in performing arts centers. Its Center for Constitutional Studies, Women's Success Center, and reward many students with scholarships.
Spiritual and local leaders call for greater unity among LGBT members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This weekend, the nonprofit group Mormons Building Bridges hosted a forum at the Salt Lake City Library. Speakers, professors, and researchers shared their thoughts and research about ways to provide more inclusion for LGBT members of the church.
I plan to continue to write and to think about gender and sexuality in Mormonism. I think it's one of the most important issues of our time.
Mormons Building Bridges is a non-profit group committed to creating an environment of love and acceptance to LGBT individuals in the Latter-day Saint community. The full forum is available to watch on YouTube. The MBB ministry plans to hold their fall contemplative retreat October 11th and 12th.
As Suicide Prevention Month comes to a close, Hope for Utah hosted its annual Walk for Hope this weekend. NewsLine reporter Sarah Collins has more on the story. Sarah?
This is the 16th annual Walk for Hope, and people from all over the county are coming together to join the fight for suicide awareness.
While it takes an entire village to raise a child, we believe it takes an entire community to save one.
The community? Utah County. The child? Any and every young person in Utah at risk for suicide. Each year, locals in the community come together to register in the Walk for Hope and honor their loved ones.
The walk gives them a chance to say, look, I lost someone important, and this gives me a chance to honor them during the walk.
Oh, we're so excited. Greg Hudnall created Hope for Utah 20 years ago as a platform for suicide prevention. The walk gives families a chance to be a part of the change.
It's something that's kind of personal to our family because a couple of my kids have attempted it and thought about it, and so it's just something we wanted to support.
It is so touching to look out in the crowd and to see just different people, different shirts, different groups, and just see them all walking together and knowing that we're all here for a single purpose.
This year, the walk featured speakers, music, and of course, joining in the 1 mile walk. People honored loved ones during this walk as they posted pictures to the memory wall, chose a family member to walk for, or just came together to be a supportive member of the community.
One thing I've utilized is the different royalties of the Miss America organization and let them reach out to their cities.
Another great addition to the walk, Hope Squads.
It means a lot to be here, and it's a great program. It's a youth suicide prevention program, and it's really great to see the kids involved and just making a difference.
Yeah, we bring companies, we bring programs, we bring schools from all over Utah County and try to make it a Utah County event. So it really is respecting us as a whole to say it takes an entire community.
As Suicide Prevention Month comes to a close, you can still participate by checking out their website at hopeforutah.com or contacting one of your local Hope Squads. Reporting in Provo, I'm Sarah Collins.
Thanks so much, Sarah.
A new monument should be in place by Memorial Day to honor local soldiers who died while serving in the military. The monument is planned to be built outside North Ogden City Hall. The City Council agreed to grant an easement allowing placement of the memorial in the open area between City Hall, the North Ogden Police Department, and the Weber County Library North Branch. Representatives from Follow the Flag North Ogden will help spearhead fundraising efforts. $60,000 is needed to build the site.
Visitors can now ride electric bicycles around Utah's iconic Red Rock monuments. The new policy takes effect tomorrow in Arches and Canyonlands and in Hovenweep and Natural Bridges National Monuments. National Park visitors will be able to pedal their e-bikes on paved and unpaved roads open to the public, but not on any trails. Visitors should be aware that the parks don't have charging stations and generators aren't allowed in the site's backcountry. Beginning in January, a new youth program will take effect for members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
When I think of your bright future and the powerful influence you can be in the world, I get excited for you.
President Russell M. Nelson made the public announcement last night addressing children, youth, and families. The new program will replace the primary, Cub Scouts, Scouting, Young Women Personal Progress, and Young Men's programs. President Nelson explained that the new program is meant to strengthen members' faith in Jesus Christ and help families meet life's challenges.
Families are thrilled with the opportunity this program has to give them to become closer and to build both the testimonies and the talents of their children.
More information about the new program will be presented at a Q&A with Elder Garrett W. Gong of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles on November 17th.
New York is doing a new study on marijuana. We'll tell you what the scientists are hoping to find in connection to the plant and autism.
Elon Musk unveils his rocket prototype that could fly humans to Mars. Find out when the rocket will be ready and how much it will cost.
For 20 years, so I'm one of the old timers.
A pumpkin competition had farmers working hard to make the Harvest Festival deadline. We'll tell you what the winning pumpkin weighed and who was the lucky winner.
To God, go banging on his door. You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks. You can be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you can find yourself. Stand in the Hall of Fame. And the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. Be a champion. Be a champion. Be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Yeah, yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions. Standing in the Hall of Fame.
3 of 4 inmates who escaped from an Ohio jail are now in custody in North Carolina. 3 of 4 inmates who escaped from an... Authorities say the inmates used a homemade weapon to overpower 2 female corrections officers at the county jail Sunday and made a getaway in a corrections officer's car. 3 of those men were captured in Cary, North Carolina. A number of agencies...
Forever 21 is filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The teenage clothing chain says up to 170 of its more than 800 stores will close. The closures are not expected to happen in major U.S. markets. The retailer is among the many who have become victim to the increase of online shopping, which has hurt sales in brick-and-mortar locations.
Trying to figure out if cannabis can help children with autism. Researchers at the Montefiore Medical Center believe a non-psychoactive cannabis extract could possibly help with autism symptoms. Scientists are encouraged by the success the compound has had in reducing epileptic seizures. Researchers are currently conducting clinical trials on 100 young patients, lasting 12 weeks of treatments through June 2021. It's estimated the study results will be finalized in September 2021. The U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration considers cannabis to be a Schedule I drug with no currently accepted medical use.
This weekend, Elon Musk unveiled a 160-foot-tall rocket prototype that could fly humans into orbit to colonize Mars. Musk says the rocket may be ready within 1 year and cost billions of dollars less than he once predicted. The SpaceX CEO says it may now only cost $2 or $3 billion instead of $10 billion to develop the hardware needed to trek millions of miles across deep space.
Oh my gourd! Giant pumpkins take over Thanksgiving Point.
You win some, you lose some.
We'll show you which squash was named the event's Great Pumpkin.
Apple picking is a fall tradition for many people. We'll tell you where you can go to pick apples and have fun on a wagon ride.
Check this out. No, this isn't Kansas, and Dorothy is definitely not caught in there. I'll tell you where this tornado took place along with my full weather report.
When you think of Miami, you think of, rich, glamour, but 5 miles away from the beach, there's people who've never seen the beach. I was confused why somebody was in this situation, especially in America. So when I started Joshua's Heart Foundation, it was a key thing to be able to engage youth in the foundation, to help them participate. I think passing on the torch and lighting a new flame in another person to do good is probably one of the bigger missions that I have. So we are each making a bigger difference. That's it, just giving back and producing love for everybody.
Summer has officially turned its leaf, which means all things fall and all things pumpkins.
NewsLine reporter Amy Hamilton carved out some time at the Harvest Festival at Thanksgiving Point. Amy, what was the festival about?
The festival was all things pumpkins, but not just any ordinary jack-o'-lantern. We're talking massive pumpkins. The Utah Giant Pumpkin Growers Association held its 30th annual pumpkin WeighOff, and the numbers on the scale were shocking.
Pumpkin spice and everything nice.
Tell us about this pumpkin coming up.
The Utah Giant Pumpkin Growers Association has been hosting pumpkin WeighOffs for 30 years now. This weekend, contestants' hard work paid off as their pumpkins were put to the test on a heavy-duty scale.
What does she weigh? 96 pounds.
The real question is, how did these pumpkin growers get hooked on such a unique hobby? Well, everyone's had their own journey.
Now, how long have you been growing?
Third year, probably 6 years or so.
12 years now.
I've been growing for 20 years, so I'm one of the old timers.
Whether growers are on their 3rd or 20th year, they've each had their own ups and downs.
You know, you win some, you lose some.
Luck of the seed and weather elements were common obstacles this season, but some pumpkins squashed the competition.
1608! Whoa! That is awesome!
We're here at the Harvest Festival at Thanksgiving Point with the winner of the largest pumpkin, Andrew Israelson. Andrew, tell us how it feels.
Yeah, it feels great. It feels great. I have been thinking about this for weeks and weeks, and I've been nervous all day long, and finally to win and come in over 1,600 pounds.
So what exactly do these pumpkin and gourd growers do with their pumpkins after the WeighOff?
Me and my granddaughter are going to cut it up and have fun with it.
I think we're going to make some didgeridoos.
Some growers have even turned this hobby into a business.
As I got into the pumpkins, I have land, so I started growing because guys that are carving back here wanted to carve pumpkins at fall festivals, parties. Well, where do you get a giant pumpkin?
Whether it's a hobby or a way to make a living, these pumpkin growers are passionate about what they do.
This is why I do it, just for the ribbon.
Once you get hooked into this, it's a lifetime thing.
And while the 1,608-pound pumpkin is currently the heaviest pumpkin in Utah and the 12th heaviest pumpkin in the world, the association will hold yet another WeighOff on October 12th at WeiOff Farms. So watch out, Andrew.
Thanks, Amy.
It's not just pumpkins. Apples can also be a bushel of fun during this time of year. Riley's You Pick an American Fork is in full season with Honeycrisp apples, as well as peaches. The family-owned company since 1953 invites friends and families to pick their own fruit, take a free wagon ride, and make plenty of memories with fun pictures. There's also a fruit and vegetable stand with squash, pumpkins, watermelons, corn, and more.
Pumpkin spice lovers rejoice. Tomorrow marks the first day of October.
Cassidy McKinney tells us how social media is getting ready to celebrate this autumn month once the clock strikes midnight.
Thanks, Joseph. Get ready to carve pumpkins and tell ghost stories by the fire because tomorrow is October. The 10th month of the year is synonymous with Halloween, and Americans love Halloween. The nation spends $7.4 billion each year on the spooky holiday, and more than 600 million pounds of candy are eaten during the month of October. That's a lot of cavities. Now, I asked my Instagram followers if fall is the best season, and 62% said yes. I am definitely in the yes camp, and I love October. Super excited for Halloween. But I don't think I'm quite as excited as this little girl getting down to the Halloween theme song. The caption reads, "Me tomorrow, October 1st. Now we know that if you're ever being chased by Michael Myers, just start dancing and he'll probably leave you alone." Others on Twitter aren't as stoked about October. This user tweeted a meme of Patrick force-feeding a pumpkin to SpongeBob. The caption says, "Brands knowing tomorrow is October, and companies are definitely hopping on the fall bandwagon this month. Spam even came out with a pumpkin spice flavor. That's pretty disgusting." Others on social media are excited for October not because of Halloween, but because it means we are 1 month closer to Christmas. BuzzFeed posted this on Facebook, along with a clip from the beloved Home Alone movie. It has 25,000 reactions. Now, I love Christmas, but I cannot wait to soak up all the spooky vibes this month and eat as much pumpkin spiced everything as I can, except maybe for the Spam. Back to you.
A couple went storm chasing and captured the formation of a tornado on camera near Davis, California this weekend. The area experienced a tornado touchdown, pounding hail and record low morning temperatures. The tornado caused a bit of excitement, but apparently no damage. And as we take a look at our radar today, partly sunny, mostly sunny, and cold temperatures throughout the rest of the valley. We are seeing some cloud formations up here that will bring a 20% chance of rain later today. It looks like that rain that we got in the weekend does not want to go away. Colder temperatures in the North Cache Valley, northern and central Utah farming areas could experience a widespread hard freeze late tonight. So those with sensitive plants should be on the lookout and ready for that. Our highs and lows for today: Logan 52, 32, 31, Provo 60, 36, Vernal 64, 36, St. George 76, 48. And we take a look at our 5-day forecast for southern Utah. Sunshine and clear skies throughout the rest of the week. Highs in the 70s and 80s, lows in the 50s. Perfect weather for going camping, hitting those outdoors, hunting, you name it. Our 5-day forecast for northern Utah: sunshine and clear skies as well. Lows in the 40s, highs in the 60s. And just, continue enjoying that perfect fall weather today. We'll be right back.
Your son wants to get a cat, but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C squared equals 25. Good job!
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
All right, Monroe, you ready? Monroe. Ooh.
The weekend field trip for the Cougs didn't quite go as planned, and there may be more bad news on the way. After leading 3 different times in the second half, fate would not be on the Cougar side. An exciting back-and-forth game would supply only headaches for those who bleed blue, as the dying minutes of the game involved a must-have turnover in the Cougars' favor, and then a BYU interception on the very next play. The latter of the two would result in Toledo's game-winning touchdown and subsequent 28-21 victory. Not only did Wilson's interception cost BYU the game, it just may have cost them their star quarterback as well. Wilson, after the pick, would help out in the tackle, but would injure his thumb in the process. Coach Kalani Sitake had stated that Wilson will not play against the University of South Florida when they face the Bulls in 2 weeks' time. At least one quarterback had a good weekend, one by the name of Taysom Hill. Hill and the Saints enjoyed 4 quarters of Sunday Night Football, and they did it without scoring a single touchdown. 4 field goals would be enough to stop the undefeated Dallas Cowboys, and although Taysom did not kick for 3, he sure did run.
Direct snap, the man who can do just about everything, including this, Taysom Hill, for a gain of about 18 yards.
Hill's hit on offense has since gone viral all over social media. In New Orleans, the Saints get the win 12-10. The question to be asked after Saturday afternoon is the BYU women's soccer team the best team on campus? The ups and downs of the BYU football team leave room for the Lady Cougs to offer some silver lining. Led by the 2 goals of junior Michaela Colohan, the 9-0 Cougars reached double-digit wins on Saturday. A goal in the 2nd minute by UC Irvine would snap, however, a 7-game shutout streak for goalkeeper Sabrina Davis. That lead wouldn't last long, as the Ladies in Blue dominated the remainder of the match. Undefeated and ranked 5th in the country, BYU faces off against Santa Clara on Saturday. A huge sigh of relief was felt all throughout the Wasatch Valley this weekend. Despite midseason drama, RSL survives and advances to the 2019 MLS playoffs. Star goalkeeper Nick Raimondo supplied 3 major saves in the crucial win against the Houston Dynamo on Sunday. Raimondo made his final appearance at Rio Tinto Stadium and gave some words of gratitude for his longtime fans.
I'd like to thank you for always having my back in good times and bad times on the field. But I think we had a lot of memories that we could always remember together, and just know that I always bleed RSL.
The Real Salt Lake legend will go down as one of the most beloved goalkeepers in franchise history, as well as one of the most respected all across the MLS. That'll do it for sports. We'll be right back.
Hi.
Can you help me?
I got it.
Thank you.
Just like the rules to surviving Zombieland, there are steps you can take to be prepared for an emergency.
It's the right thing to do.
Talk with your family to make a plan. Look for safe areas to meet up if separated. And stock up on supplies. It's never too early to get prepared, so start now.
Right now?
Right now. You can't predict emergencies, but you can be ready.
You're welcome, America.
Visit ready.gov today to learn more.
An Ohio man celebrated his 94th birthday by jumping out of a plane. As he suited up, Paul Grimm says there was no fear because he knew he'd have a guardian angel jumping right there with him. Paul's wife passed away in January. Saturday would have marked their 75th wedding anniversary. The jump was just as much for her as himself. And so up they went until the moment came and he jumped. Just as beautiful as the jump were his thoughts of his wife. He said he was thinking of her but didn't see her. He thought maybe she would join him. And though she wasn't there, their legacy, a still growing family, was there to cheer him safely to the ground. What an incredible way to honor your marriage. Oh my goodness.
My wife keeps telling me that she really wants to go skydiving, and I might tell her,
next anniversary.
I'll wait till I'm 93 or 94 or so, and then that'll work.
Thanks for joining us today for NewsLine. For more information on our stories, go to byu.edu/newsline.